Today I'm doing a deep dive into the 2024 presidential elections, and this time it's going to be in the state of Alaska. Alaska's presidential voting history has Republicans up 10.1% in 2020, 14.7% in 2016, and in 2012 Republicans won by 14%. As for the current polling average right now, I actually cannot find any current polling averages for the state of Alaska, so that will not be able to be factored in to this video, but not to worry because we will be having some other factors to use that will help predict the race. And the average margin of victory result in Alaska across these last three elections was 12.9%. As for the national vote, the popular vote across the United States, in 2020, the Democrat Joe Biden won the popular vote by 4.4%. 2016, Hillary Clinton won the popular vote by 2.1%. And in 2012, it was won by Barack Obama by 3.9%. And the current polling average, as of recording this video, has Democrats plus 2.2% in the national vote and the popular vote. That means Kamala Harris is projected to win the popular vote by 2.2%. The average margin of victory result for the popular vote across the last three elections was 3.5% of the vote. Now for Alaska, its vote compared to the national vote. In 2020, Alaska voted 14.5% to the Republican side, to the right of the national popular vote. In 2016, it voted 16.8% to the right of the national popular vote. In 2012, Alaska voted 17.9% to the right of the national popular vote, which gives an average margin across three elections as 16.4% to the right of the popular vote across the country. Certainly a state that definitely favors the Republicans. Now for some presidential forecasts in the state of Alaska. Electoral Politics has the state listed as likely Republican. Sabato Crystal Ball has it as safe Republican. Inside Elections solid Republican. Decision Desk HQ and The Hill has it as safe Republican. And Cook Political Report has it as solid Republican. So all of the forecasts except for Electoral Politics have the state as safe. Electoral Politics has it as likely. That's actually interesting to see. Electoral Politics have it as likely. That could be something potentially to watch for if that does happen on election night, but that's certainly an interesting one. Now we look at some counties of Alaska that I am personally watching. Most of these I'm picking due to how the county voted in recent elections and how much they swung in one direction or another. So for instance, in North Slope, Alaska, the northernmost county, I believe, in the state of Alaska, it voted for the Democrat Barack Obama in 2012 by 30.1% of the vote. In 2016, it voted by 13.3% of the vote. And in 2020, it voted for Trump, the Republican, by 4% of the vote. So that's a swing of about 17 points or so from 2016 to 2020. So that's a very interesting one I'm watching to see if the county votes similar to the 4 points that Trump won it by in 2020, or if it goes back to the Democrats in 2024 and by how much. So that is certainly one I'm watching for, and I think it's very interesting to keep an eye out on. In the county of Dillingham County, it was won in 2012 by Obama by 23 points, 17.6 points in 2016, and then only 6.6% in 2020. This is one where the county swung 10 points from the left towards the right in 2020, going from 17.6 to 6.6. I'm interested to see how the county will vote in 2024. If, like North Slope, will there continue to be a trend to the Republican side? Will this number stay similar? Or will Democrats gain back support in this county? That is a very interesting one I am watching. Now, on the flip side, we have the county of Valdez Cordova, where in 2012 it was 21.8% won by Mitt Romney. In 2016, Trump actually expanded his lead, winning it by 29.1%, but then an absolutely massive shift going from 2016 to 2020. It went from 29.1% to 8.2% for Trump in the county in 2020. 8.2%. That is a swing of about 21 points in just one election cycle. So that is certainly something that's very, very interesting to see if this county continues to go more towards the Democratic side. You would have to think if it's not a fluke and it does happen, it did go 21 points from 2016 to 2020. So going down a few points from more Democratic wouldn't really be too much of a surprise, but that is an interesting one I am watching for. Now in Anchorage County, I believe one of the bigger cities in all of Alaska, it voted for the Republicans by 9.9% in 2012. It voted for the Republicans 5.3% in 2016. and now it voted in 2020 for Joe Biden by just 2%, excuse me. This is an interesting one because Anchorage is kind of following a similar path of Maricopa County in Arizona, where it was a Republican, pretty solid district, competitive, but it was a Republican district. And then it started getting smaller and smaller until the Democrats eventually overtook it. I believe in 2020 was the first time when Joe Biden, Hillary Clinton might have, but I believe it was Joe Biden in 2020 who flipped Maricopa County. And now we have to wait and see in 2024, obviously how Maricopa County will do, but also how Anchorage will do. Because it voted for Joe Biden by 2 points in 2020, the trends and directions certainly suggest the Democrats should continue to gain support in this county. The question is by how much and if it will do so at all, but certainly expected Anchorage will probably continue to vote more Democratic than Republican, but that's certainly an important one to watch. And in the county of Denali, where it was won by Romney by 7.3% in 2012, it was won by Trump by 13.6% in 2016, and then won by Trump in 2020 by 5.1%. This is an interesting one because it swung a lot. It almost swung about 7 points to Republicans to Trump in 2016 from 2012, but then it also went down about 8 points from 2016 to 2020. So I'm very curious to see how this county goes, if it continues to get bluer or if it gets red and goes back up again. Total wild card in the county of Denali. Definitely can't wait to see how that one goes. Now on the Republican side in Alaska for president, in 2020 Donald Trump got 52.8% statewide vote. 2016 Trump got 51.3%. In 2012 Mitt Romney got 54.8% of the vote. This creates a range of the difference of the top vote percentage and the lowest vote percentage, and then you add and subtract that difference to the high end and the low end. That gets a low end of 47.8% to 58.3% of the vote. My current 2024 prediction, my best guess for the state of Alaska, has Trump getting about 53.4% of the vote. I think he improves on his margins from 2020, going up about 0.6%. However, I do not think he improves enough to reach Romney's numbers of 54.8% from 2012. So Trump improves, not by a whole lot, but just by enough to likely give him a victory in the state. On the Democratic side, Joe Biden in 2020 got 42.8%. 2016, Hillary Clinton got 36.6%. And in 2012, Barack Obama got 40.8%. When you do the same thing, when you do the range, you look at 30.4% for the low end for what Kamala Harris can get, 49% on the high end for what Kamala Harris can get. I have her getting about 42.4% of the vote. That would be about a 0.4% decrease from Biden's numbers in 2020. Not a massive decrease, and I think Anchorage will still likely go up, but perhaps some of the other surrounding areas will not be as good for Harris as they were for Biden, but this is certainly one that's going to be very, very close and one to watch for in that regard as to whether or not Harris can improve her numbers from Biden's. This is also one of the first times that in any state we've done so far where the high end for the one candidate is actually higher than the low end of the other one. For instance, in California, there was so much of a Democratic advantage. Even based on the numbers, the Republicans' best case scenario would not have them winning. If Trump does the worst he could do in the state, he would get 47.8. The best Harris can do in the state is 49. So she actually would have enough support to win if everything broke for her and everything broke against Trump. I think it's highly unrealistic and will not happen, but it is interesting nonetheless. We're starting to get more into the competitive vote category. In the state of Alaska, and it's 3 electoral votes, I have Donald Trump winning the state of Alaska on election day with 53.4% of the vote, to Kamala Harris's 42.4%. This would be a margin of victory of about 11% of the vote across the entire state of Alaska. Its 3 electoral votes go to Donald Trump. Now going to the 2024 electoral map, we actually can officially color in a state for Donald Trump. Kamala Harris is 81.3% of the vote. Donald Trump now has 3 electoral votes. So Harris is 81, Trump has 3. A long way to go until we do every single state across the country. Make sure to stay tuned for that. In the meantime, I'm going to show you a sneak peek of my 2024 election night where I make the call for Alaska at midnight. Please enjoy. We've officially reached midnight on the East Coast. It is now Wednesday, November 6, 2024, and we still do not know who will win the presidential election in 2024 of Donald Trump versus Kamala Harris. However, we do have 2 poll closings to go after right now in the states of Alaska and Hawaii. Perhaps this may shed some light on how the presidential race is going. And no surprises here in the state of Alaska, Donald Trump will win the state's 3 electoral votes. Donald Trump will win the state of Alaska. That will do it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please remember to give it a like. And if you really liked it, please remember to click the subscribe button. And make sure you turn post notifications on so you always get notified when I post a new video. That way you never miss one. Also, please remember to share this video with your friends and family if you really like the video. And remember to stay tuned because I'll be posting at least one video every single day leading up until election day. So I'd really appreciate it if you keep coming back and watching those videos. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you in a future video.